Hello, my Rise sisters. I hope everyone is doing well today. I am really excited that Nancy gave me an opportunity to interview Dr. Shirley Matthews. So I have Shirley with us today and wanted to talk to her a little bit about her background and what she's going to be doing soon at the Maplewood Meditates. And just want to jump right in. How are you doing, Shirley?
I'm doing pretty well. I am so excited to be here because the event Maplewood Meditates is something that I'm just excited about it. Just spreading the word about meditation and its power. Um, Something that I love.
Yeah,
It's just that simple.
it looks really cool. When I looked at it on Facebook, I wasn't really familiar with it because I moved now to Connecticut, but I wish I could be there and maybe who knows, maybe I can drive out there. But um, I would love to get if if you could share with us your bio and what you do professionally, but also what you're doing with Kundalini yoga and the Gong, or actually just give us your bio first, then we'll jump into
Ah,
the other stuff.
it always feels so like funny to to enter these spaces and like do the credential thing.
I know.
But I
Go
am a
ahead and brag a
licensed,
little bit.
yeah. I'm a licensed practicing psychologist, and I work in the the areas of all sort, basically as a generalist, but I do a lot of work in the area of trauma,
Mhm.
as well as treating significant issues people have with depression, anxiety, and the like, um, which also is very much connected to my essentially my avocation, the work I do as a certified yoga teacher.
Yeah.
I came to yoga because I was struggling myself, right?
Did you find Kundalini yoga after you had practiced other yogas? I'm just curious because it's interesting
Yes.
how people find it.
Yes. What happened was for a number of years, I have quite a few friends who practiced yoga. Some were teachers. And so they got me to come to classes. I even had worked for a little while with a private teacher um, in Hatha yoga.
Hmm.
So, but the problem was it felt like another thing on my to-do list somehow.
Yeah.
There was something that just wasn't quite I don't know, there wasn't an organic connection.
Yeah.
And then a friend, I had had a number of losses in a row, very, very important and significant losses in my life. And so I was like a wilted flower, is what I felt like.
Completely agree.
And I remember like the first time I was playing tennis, and loving it. And so I'd ride my bicycle over to the tennis club back home. And this one day, my friend said, "Why don't you please go back to yoga? I think it will really help you." So I looked on the schedule at the my local yoga studio at Shakti, a lovely place, and I saw that there was an 8 o'clock class. Well, this fit with my tennis schedule,
Right.
and that's how I went. And the class was a Kundalini yoga class,
Hmm.
and it was really kooky. And I was in yoga and I was laughing. I'd never been laughing in yoga before.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Elephant pose and lions, like it's just all of this stuff that it just brought me back to um the joy that I didn't have access to.
Yeah.
And it continues to feed my soul in these really funny ways. Like we dance in yoga class,
I
all
know.
these things, not just the asana, that the seated poses or the standing poses even, but just more like just grabbing onto life, and that sense of pranayama, breath,
Right.
life force was there for me. And and that's why I'm always saying to people when they say, oh, I don't like yoga. And I just always say, have you tried the 26 different types of yoga that are in practice in the New York metropolitan area right now? You know,
Right.
because I don't think there's any one yoga that's ideal for everybody, or ways of approaching it. You know, some people like hot, some people like vinyasa, some people, there's differences. But this is the one that suits me, is
Yeah.
Kundalini yoga and meditation.
Brought you back home.
It brought me back home, brought me back to myself.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. And for me too. That no other yoga does what this yoga does for me. Yeah. Is there anything else in your bio you want to share with us, or do you want to move on to the next question?
I'm happy to move on to the next question. Sure.
All right, let's do it. Can you tell everyone about your Kundalini yoga and your Gong practice?
Well, the Kundalini yoga practice led to the Gong practice.
Okay,
It
yeah.
is not unusual in Kundalini yoga, class to have a teacher who is also trained in the Gong. And they, Gong is used in a number of different ways. But one of the ways it was used that I found most affecting for me was in sound healing, sound meditation. I, just like a lot of things, talk about, your peers dragging you here and there. I had a friend from my yoga school who brought me to a Gong meditation. It was the hour-long experience, sound healing,
Yeah.
where there were several gongs going and some top, people. And I felt like really, I just felt that lifted, I would say.
Elevated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
elevated. And my mind was able to expand in a way that brought me to clarity on something that I happened to be struggling with at the time. And by the time this thing was over, I felt at peace about it. Like I knew exactly what to do.
So you had this breakthrough during this hour-long session.
Yeah, because it was an experience that I think, it was one of those experiences where, had been addressed therapeutically, had been addressed logically,
Right.
had been prayed over. Like it was a whole complicated issue. And what happened with the Gong experience was the part of it that was without words was not yet fully addressed.
Right.
And the Gong did that for me. It just opened that up, and it felt, oh, okay, this is clear now.
It's pretty amazing. Do you play on a regular basis?
Normally I do, because I have to practice, so, but with the pandemic, a couple of things happened. This is the silliness of life, is we did like a renovation on the floor of my house where my Gong is. Right. And so my Gong and I have been separated more than I prefer. And so now getting it back again, now I feel like, this, like, thank you, right? Like right now. And so I've been using other sound healing tools, in the meantime, but a Gong takes up a lot of space. And so that's why, it had to be moved and put away while this renovation was gone. Plus I needed to protect it from
yeah, of course. I'm just curious how you learned how to play it, because I know, like, when we both trained at Kundalini Yoga East, and they did give us, it was a very, very short period of time where everyone got to kind of play at it for a little bit. But what happened? Can you tell me the story about that?
Sure. I decided that this is something that I wanted to explore, right? Absolutely. So I first, I took some outside courses online with and some courses that were offered by a couple of famous teachers. And then I went to, then I graduated up to going to like Gong camp, where people from all over the world come to like an ashram, or a place in upstate New York. And it was so cool. People come, they bring their own gongs. There are gongs there that you've never like would have ever gotten to play. I've had the opportunity of playing the planetary gongs, just all sorts. And so I got to take lessons with some top people from around the world and spent, a week doing that. And then I went, and there's a local person here in New Jersey who I also went and studied with him too. And then I've gone and like randomly taken classes with people at, different, when the opportunity has allowed it. And I continue to read and study about all of, about sound and the science of it and all of that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
All right. Hopefully the phone is off.
Yeah, that training sounds amazing, that week-long training.
Oh, it's so great in upstate New York. And it's, when the and I miss it. I mean, it's another casualty of pandemic, is you cannot have people coming from all over the world and crowding together in these spaces to do these things. But you
can do it on Zoom, can't you? Couldn't you if you wanted to offer it? Or is it a little bit harder? You don't get the
really, it's harder. Like when you are just studying technique,
you
can do that online.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of holding mallets and different mallets and whatever. And there are different theories. Like there are gong people who have lots of gongs, lots and lots of gongs.
Right.
And then there are other gong players like myself who have lots and lots of mallets.
Okay.
So there are different ways of approaching it. And I have gone with the symphonic style gong, right? It's a tuned gong and lots of mallets to bring out the different vibrations from the gong itself. So because you can really get addicted to so
to the sound healing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The different sounds. So yeah.
So cool. So can you tell everyone what practice you'll be guiding at Maplewood Meditates this year? I believe it's September 19th.
That's right. That's Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes. I will of course be leading people in a gong meditation. And it'll be a meditation the goal of which is a balancing meditation. So that's for a group, that's more or less what I will always do.
Okay.
Something to balance, because the gong can do different things. Like I said, for me, it was like a breakthrough experience. But for this kind of thing, it's a stress reduction, and it is going to be a sound quality that will allow people to relax, to lean into it, and just to enjoy the experience of being elevated through sound. Oh, nice. But I'm also going to do something else, and that is among the things that even as a yoga teacher, I have to admit that I was not doing my yoga and meditation, my Kundalini yoga and meditation daily. Mm-hmm. But during this pandemic, I have not missed a day in the last 330 days of Kundalini yoga meditation. And I cannot believe that there was a time when I didn't do this, that I would skip a day, or that, now I can't imagine skipping a day.
And what are you doing?
And I've been fortunate enough to, because I was teaching an online class, like a 6 a.m. class on Thursday mornings through, Shakti for a while. And then my work commitment got to be so great. So now I am still practicing every day, but Tuesday and Thursday, I practice with a fellow teacher. She's in Virginia. I'm here. We do a 6 a.m. class. Other people are welcome, but it's not a prime time for folks,
It's not for me, I'm sorry to say, but
it's just not. But it's the only way I could fit it in. And among the things that I've really got in touch with is the power of breath work.
Yeah.
And I have been doing more and more breath work. Now, one of my favorite Kundalini books is this one. Krishna Kaur is also one of my favorite of the yogis, and I was so excited at
Called
Satnam.
I Am Woman. I'm just
I
trying to
am,
see.
yeah, I
I'm
am,
a woman.
yeah, I'm one. And so Krishna Kaur, who is this beautiful lady on the front,
Mhm.
and she was pretty, pretty awesome and a pretty like badass woman of her in her own ilk. She'd been a Broadway performer, singer, actor, the whole nine yards, and then got involved with the Kundalini yoga and meditation movement and organization. And so she goes around the world using her talent
Mhm.
to both to bring healing and yoga experience to people around the world. And I haven't chosen to live that kind of an exciting life as that.
Right.
But but I do have found in my work as a psychologist, right,
Mhm.
that teaching my clients pranayama exercises, breath work exercises, and the research now, there's a wonderful book out now called Breath. And I was just looking on my shelf and I think
James,
I,
James Nestor. It's
yes,
amazing. Such a
right.
great book. Yes.
And I have been like, giving this book out and, because not everyone can hear the message, when you put yoga next to it. But if you put Western style science next to it, that makes it easier for some people. But with
Right.
my clients, I just show them through experience by having the experience of doing. So I'm going to lead everyone in a pranayama exercise that's called stress relief and clearing the emotions of the past.
Ooh,
And it seems timely, right?
absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
and the nice thing about these kind of breath work exercises is you don't have to do them for 15, 20 minutes. You can do them for 3 minutes,
Right.
7, 11. And so we're going to do a 3-minute pranayama called stress relief and clearing the motions of the past. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to teach it to people. And you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for a year from now, right? When I bump into these folks and the ones who decide to, periodically just do this. And they're going to come and tell me, I know what they're going to say already, because I see this from my clients all the time. They're like, Dr. M, that thing you taught me? Well, I've been doing it. And I have to tell you, like, I was having a lot of brain fog.
Mhm.
And so in the afternoon, and so I do this now, and it just clears me up and it re-energizes me. Can you believe that? And I'm like,
Mhm.
really? Yeah, right. So that's what I'm looking forward to,
That,
really.
that is super exciting. And everyone who does go to Maplewood Meditates is in for an amazing treat with Shirley, because I've been at a retreat. It was this year, this April, where I got to experience your gong, and it was just so powerful and so transformative. And really, you're such a gift to helping people on with your psychological, with your get therapy, and then your breath work and the gong and the yoga and all of it. And just thank you for being here today with us. And yeah,
And
and I hope to see you soon in person.
I hope so too. And thank you for your gift here. I'm very camera shy, and so, but it's so lovely having the opportunity to talk to you again. It's always a pleasure, Charlotte, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you so
For
much.
this.
And
No.
I think that's a wrap. Okay.